So, first of all, Slap made by Yam Audio in collaboration with great producer Mr. Bill is a fantastic tool to enhance the transient materials like drum loops, breakbeats, or one-shots like kick drums, snare, hats, and so on. But actually, I've found many more creative uses of the plugin. In this audio example, you will hear an EDM kind of musical loop, where I've used a drum loop, some percussions, a bass line, some synths, and other sounds going under the category creative, and I will explain later why I call them in this way. I have applied a different instance of the plugin to each element of this loop with a different application and purpose. As you hopefully have heard, after the Slap plugin applied, the loop sounds fuller, richer, wider and more energetic, and also more lively. But why? Let's start by dissecting what's going on in the drum loop. And this is with it. Basically, what this Vitalizer preset does is that it layers on top of the original transients this sample from the texture category, which adds a nice organic feel to the drums, in particular to the left channel since it's a stereo sample. And then, with the help of saturation and clipping, the cymbals of the loop sound crispier, while the kick sound deeper and warmer. Now let's move to the percussions. What happened is that Slap added hats enhancement, made the taiko more impactful, and everything is more present and upfront in the mix now. In the first percussion loop, I've replaced the transient with a click sample, and used a variety of modules to enrich and process the tone further. Remember that all of these modules are swappable by dragging them with the mouse in this way, and the signal goes from left to right. So in this case, clap is the first module that will process the signal, and the clip is the last one. As a final touch, I squashed the loop, I passed it and tamed it. The tame knob is handful to handle resonances, so when you go hard with saturation, you can always tame the harsher frequencies afterwards. For the taiko, I've chosen this Taiko Giantify preset. Basically what it does is it replaces the transient first, it makes the body heavier and adds some nice top-end enhancement with the help of the clap and spray modules. The clip is set to really extreme values, for example the punish dial is set to 100%. The effects amount works like a macro control for the amount of processing applied with the modules. Then moving to the heads. The processing sounds like I've layered the heads with another top loop playing exactly same rhythm of the original. Slap replaces the transient, then employs the clap module to generate a white noise percussion layer that helps the original loop to cut through the mix more, followed by the shape, fat and clip modules which make it more upfront and snappier. Also the tune knob is fully turned up so that some pitch shifting can bring some edginess, and the low cut removes unnecessary low-end material generated by the saturation process. Now let's jump into the bass. The difference is subtle, but very important. As you can hear, if you have good monitoring systems, the bass now sounds deeper and warmer, mainly because of the sub-module, which is a sub-harmonic generator. Keep in mind though that you have to tune it to the key of the song. In this case it is in A, which is a fifth above D, because our little track is in D minor. Now let's hear how the synths changed with the application of slap. Slap works really well also on synth loops that have a distinctive transient like plugs or harps, for example. Here we are using a technique we have seen before, that is employing the clap module to layer white noise to the original lead line. For the stab, what I've done is replacing the transient with a sample from the zap folder and compressing and clipping a good amount. The spray is like an ice on the cake, which adds a cool top end shine and texture, also making it wider. This other synth, with the help of the live preset, has a textured layer on top and more character thanks to a combination of these modules applied. Finally, let's dive into the creative category. Why are they called in this way? Well, because I've applied slap in an unorthodox way. It's not used as a transient replacer or enhancer, as we've seen so far and as it was mainly intended for. Let's hear a few examples. And this is with it. Basically, I've saturated the hell out of this synth loop with the Saturation is Love preset, and it sounds so cooler and much more expressive. The clip, as you can see, is set to extreme values, and I just love how it sounds. The fat knob is very high too, some squash, and the tame knob helps taming overtones generated by extreme saturation. On the other creative application, I've transformed the Vox Chop loop by making it more glitchy sounding. So what I've done, with this preset called Glitchy Cool, I've played around with this green vertical line which sets the length of the sample replacing the transient of the original material. So if I set it really high, the result is a bit weird, like you have heard in this example. Now you can almost just hear the transient. And this just acts as a standard transient replacer tool. Playing around with this, you can get very interesting rhythmic interplays and hybrid results, adding a groove too. Finally, let's hear one more time the entire loop without all the instances of slap, and then with it applied to every single element with different applications, as we have seen.